Have you ever felt frustrated spending hours tweaking your printer settings only to end up with prints that are off or inconsistent? Most advices out there make configuration seem like rocket science. But here's the twist. What if you could achieve perfect settings with 3 lightning fast and simple processes? In this video, I'll show you how to dial in the ideal configuration for temperature, flow, and retraction for any filament. So you can finally say goodbye to wasted time and wasted filament, and hello to better looking prints. Now before we start, if you are using the STLFLIX filaments, we have made the configurations available for pretty much the majority of the newer, sort of most used printers that we have out there. And all you gotta do in order to get the configurations that we have created for those filaments is to drag in that 3MF, because the 3MF already carries the information about the filament. So you have here, once you loaded up that model into your slicer, you will see that it has like this generic PLA name on the filament tab right here, and then you click on edit, and you are going to click on this little icon here that says save, and you can call it STLFLIX. In this case here, we're talking about the silk PLA, which is the same for dual silk and for the silk. And then you can save it, and then you will have the setting for the STLFLIX silk PLA in this case saved, so you can use that right away. And we have those settings for the basic PLA and for the silk PLA. With that being said, let's go and talk about how to get to those configurations in case you're using a different PLA, or if you're using, I don't know, PETG, ABS, another filament that you wish to get the perfect configuration done. Alright, so for this tutorial, we will be using Orca Slicer, because Orca Slicer already has a few pre-built tests that are really good. And the first test that we have to start every time that we are making configuration for filaments is the temperature tower. Well, Orca Slicer does have a temperature tower here. If you click on calibration and then temperature, and you can select what type of filament that you're working on and the range that you want to work with, but the model that they carry has a lot of different things in it. Now, once you slice it up, you will be able to see, if you change here the color scheme to temperature, you will be able to see how the temperatures are changing from one step to the other, going from 225 all the way up, actually decreasing the temperature to 190 degrees Celsius. All right, so this is the pretty standard for PLA, and in here you can already check the best finishing that you want to achieve. We are not big fans of this particular model because this model tests a lot of things at once, and we prefer to isolate the test and really get the perfect result for each one of the steps before we move on. If you look closely, in here we are evaluating retraction with this little needle here, we're evaluating the bridge, and we're also evaluating the color finish on the surface of each one of these steps. So it's a lot of things that we are testing all at once. Ideally, whenever you are conducting a test, you want to isolate the variables and test one variable at a time, so you can keep on tweaking and getting to the best result in each one of the steps. All right, so for this particular guy, I'm going to start a new project here, and I want to bring in the model that we have created, which is also a 3MF that we are making available here, that we are only testing the surface quality of each one of the temperatures that we have in each one of those layers. All right, so now I have loaded here the temperature tower that we have created specifically for the PLA. It's labeled PLA. It starts at 240 degrees Celsius and it goes up all the way up to 200 degrees Celsius. We're also making available a temperature tower for PETG and ABS. If you want a more specific filament, you would still have to configure that yourself, or you can use one of the ones that Orca makes available as well, which is also doable. All right? And if you're using a different type of filament that is not ABS, not PETG, and not PLA, which are the most usual ones, please comment down below which filament you're using. It's interesting for us to know which types of things you guys are experimenting with, so we can perhaps create some content, directed drive to it, but let me know in the comments below. All right, getting back here, once you slice it up. All right, so now once you slice this file that you have imported into your Orca Slicer, what you will see, it has a lot of sort of custom G codes in each one of these steps. And if you change to the temperature in here, you will see that the temperature changes in each one of these steps to go along with the color that each one of these steps is actually providing, right? And how did we do that in case you want to create it yourself? Well, what we did is in each one of these steps, we inserted a custom G-code code. So you can right click on the plus, you can add it, and as you see, this last part means we're changing the temperature manually to 200 degrees Celsius from that point forward, all right? So it means that from that point up, it's going to change for 200 degrees Celsius, and we did that multiple times. So we're changing the temperature different times in each one of these steps, which is pretty much what we have in that test, that Orca provides us, but in here manually built. In case you want to build it yourself, all you gotta do is go to a certain height of your model, right click on this little plus sign that we have in here, and add a custom G code, all right? And then you are going to insert M104S, and then the temperature that you wish to put in that specific segment, all right? So in this case that we are in 215, it would be 215, and that from that point on to the print, it's going to change to that temperature that you set, and then you just put the semicolon in the end, which is regular for whenever you're changing lines in a code, all right? So this is how you custom build it. If you want to build it yourself, you can do that as well. Just make sure you model something with a lot of cubes stacking on top of each other. We did with a little chamfer, so you can see the steps really well defined. And then you are going to print this, and it's going to be pretty obvious which one has the best configuration. What are you actually looking for in here? The first thing that you gotta do when you look at your temperature tower is to see how well the surface is. If the surface is smooth, if the layer lines are not that visible, that's a good temperature for it. The second thing that you also gotta pay attention to is about the rigidity of the piece, because if it's under extruded, it can be that it's a little more fragile or it can break more easily. But if it's really well laid up, all the layers on top of each other, you're gonna have a sturdy print, and it's going to be very resistant. That's what you're looking for. And the third, and perhaps least important aspect, but also something that I like to take a look at it, is about how glossy the print is, because you want it to be not as glossy, so a little bit more matte, but you still have to take care, because if it's too low in temperature, it might become more fragile and under extruded, as I said. So you want to find that balance where you still have a good surface glossiness, but still a resistant part. All right, so now let's go and move on to the next configuration, okay? So you're gonna go on calibration, flow rate, and before we had a very complex way to get to that setting. It was a complex math. And now they simplified it, and then they created this YOLO method, which is really good. And we're gonna go straight into the YOLO recommended, all right? So once you plug this in, what this is going to be, it's a extrusion multiplier, and how many times you are adding the extrusion multiplier to your random, to your default number, all right? So let me slice it up. And in here, it's going to be all in a single color because it's going to be the same temperature. It's going to be the temperature that you have set before because you already found your ideal temperature setting. And then you're going to go on flow. It's very hard to notice here once you see, but there's a subtle change in the grade of the orange going from minus 0.03 to plus 0.05. All right, so once you find your ideal configuration, which you're going to determine based on what we just said, you're going to click on this little added preset that you have on the right hand side of your filament. So you click on that. It's going to open up this material setting tab. You're going to scroll down until you find flow ratio. So what are you going to do? You're going to either add or decrease the value of the configuration that you found ideal. So if my ideal configuration here was, I don't know, 0.4, I'm going to 0.04, sorry, you're going to add 0.04 into your flow ratio. So it's going to be 1.02. If your ideal configuration is decreasing the original one, like let's say the minus 0.04, you're gonna go here and put 0.94, and this is going to be your ideal flow ratio. And then you can go ahead and save that setting, the setting for that specific filament. And this is how you're going to define the flow. So for the second test, what you gotta look at is if you have too many visible holes on the top layer, because that means that it's a little bit under extruded. So you're not pushing enough filament onto the print in order to completely fill all those little spaces that you need to fill with the filament. So all the layer lines, they need to be perfectly aligned with your perimeters in order to ensure that you actually have a consistent top layer. On the other hand, if it's over extruding, what you will see is perhaps a little bit of visible extra filament being deposited. So you will kind of see that is perhaps extruding a little bit more than it should. This is where your extrusion multiplier is a little bit higher than it should be. So you should find that balance between these two settings. And when you have a consistent and good top layer, that's what you should be looking at. All right, so now let's go to the last test on this 3-step guide, which is the retraction. So you're gonna go back on prepare, you're gonna go on calibration, and you're gonna click on retraction tests. If you have a bold and extruder printer, which are those printers that have the extruder outside the PTFE tube, you're going to test your retraction setting starting at 3 and finishing up at 6 millimeters, with each one of these steps being 0.5 millimeters per millimeter. All right, since the majority of the newest printers are direct drive, we're going to start the retraction length at 0 millimeter and the retraction length at 2 millimeters, and each one of these steps is going to be 0.1. So what this is going to create is going to create this little model right here. It has a lot of different steps, and in each one of these steps is changing the retraction setting by 0.1 for you to find that ideal setting. All right, so you're going to print that model. So now let's look at this model and see which one has the best results. All right, so once you found your ideal configuration or not, you're gonna go on here in the PLA Basic, click on this little icon again. We're gonna go on Setting Overrides, and then you're gonna click on Length. Remember, it started at 0 and it ended up with 2. So you're going to count how many steps you have, and this is going to be your number. Let's say you had 12 steps, so it's going to be 1.2, and this is the ideal length of your retraction. So let's say you haven't found your ideal retraction setting and you want to test it again. You're gonna go on retraction speed, and you're going to increase this number by 20% at a time. So go to 35, 40, and keep on testing, going up until you find your ideal configuration. Then you're gonna get your retraction speed correctly and also the length of that retraction. So now you will have a print that does not have any strings in it, because that's what we're aiming for at multiple different filaments. Now for the retraction, this one's pretty visible. It's been the enemy for a lot of people, is those horrible strings that we have on our 3D prints sometimes. So what you're looking for in here is a part of the model where you don't see any strings, and you want that to be, we want the retraction to happen as fast as possible, and that is the combination of how fast it's going to pull the filament back in and also move on to the next part. So what you will see when you don't have any strings visible, that's where you got your ideal retraction setting within this test. It might be that within one single test, you still not get the ideal retraction configuration. Then what you gotta do is you gotta increase your retraction speed and run the test again. The reason why we need to have these 3 tests combined is that because there is no single formula to get to the perfect filament configuration. You can reach the perfect filament configuration with different temperatures, with different extruder multipliers, and with different retraction settings. So once you follow the order and get one setting after the other, you will get a complete setting that covers these 3 parts. Now that we've learned these 3 game-changing techniques, you can be more confident when you are going to tackle one project that requires a more unusual filament, and also to get the perfect settings for your PLA filaments as well. And a lot of people ask me, how often do you run these tests? And what we recommend is that you run these tests whenever you change your type of filament that you're working on, or if you are changing the brand of filament that you traditionally use. Because by doing that, you get to the perfect setting, and then you can just stick with those settings for all the filaments within that line. And if you run into issues, you can remake these tests again. So every tweak, every lesson learned is a unique step that you took on your maker journey. Make sure to celebrate whenever you are able to successfully print something that started with a massive failure, because this is what it's all about, experimenting and getting to the best results. Hope you enjoyed this video. Click in the link below. Remember to subscribe, comment down below if you think these tips are useful, and as always, happy printing.